Welcome back, Spurs fans, to the Scott Hepler Football Channel. Today we're doing our predicted ponderings of the Burnley versus Tottenham match coming up on Sunday. Very important match for Tottenham to kind of right the ship after a poor outing on midweek in the Conference League. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about the lineup, what we think Conte's going to do. We're going to interject a few little tidbits of thoughts, what we think maybe should happen or shouldn't happen in a couple positions if this is what Conte does. And then we're going to get a little prediction at the end. So with that all being said, when we look at our starting 11, who Conte's been using over the last few weeks, 2 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, which of those players, who really is a player that's going to help take us to the next level, be competitive in the Premier League, in the European conferences or the European leagues. Let us compete for titles within the English Cups. Because right now, I think our team is full of people that can't take us there. And not just in our substitutions, but within our starting 11 even there. So because we're just not good enough at this point. We're kind of a 10th through 6th team. That's 10th place, 6th place team. That's what we've been the last few years. That's what we continue to be, and that's what we continue to show. So think about that. Who would you really need to replace in that starting 11 that he's been using the past 2.5, 3 weeks for us to progress forward? Not that I need your who you would replace him with, because we'd always want the best, but that's not feasible. So with that being said, let's look at the starting lineup that I think Conte's going to do. So I think he's going to stick with this 3-4-3 formation. He has not broken from that yet, except for in the midweek match against Mura when we went down a man. He went to a back four to kind of balance things out a little bit. But beyond that, he stuck with this 3-4-3. So in goal, of course, is Lloris. No question there. When you look at the back line, I think he's going to stick with Dyer and Davies. Those have been consistent for him, except for within the Conference League match this midweek. Beyond that, who do you throw there? I think he's going to stick with Sanchez, even though I think that's a dire mistake. Pun. But, Sanchez was responsible for both goals, or at least culpable for both goals at Mura midweek. And Sanchez was terrible. He wasn't even poor. He was just terrible. And he's a very weak link. And now we're going to be playing a stronger side than Mura. And for my money, I don't think he should be there. I still think he's going to be there because Conte wants a little bit of athleticism. Tanganga is an option. Rodin's an option. Tanganga, I don't know if Conte sold on him, his experience, etc. He could be that physical and athletic piece for us in that back three. Rodin, I still think Rodin's one of our better center backs of all the ones we have other than Romero. So I would like to see Rodin, but that takes away really any athleticism in that back three. So I think he's going with Sanchez. I think it's a mistake. It should be Tanganga or Rodin in there, in my opinion. But that's what I think he's going to do. Davies, Dyer, Sanchez. In the midfield, he's going to go back to his tried and true. Reguilon skips back from suspension. Højbjerg, he got a little bit of time midweek match. And Royal. Skip could be a little bit of a question because he played the full match against Mura. But, your options are Winks, who against Leeds was very poor at best. He wasn't terrible, but he provided absolutely nothing. Ndombele, who was very poor against Mura and provided no backline protection or help in that first half and provided nothing going forward until the more quality players came on in the second half. And then you got Dele Alli, who in that midweek match was atrocious. the guy was walking around more than he was running. He looked lost, very disengaged with the whole thing, and just didn't seem like he wanted to be there. So I think that, of our midfield options, then you got Hill, but is he more of a winger? Is he more of a central mid? I'd put him out on the wing more so. So I don't think you have a lot of options for that midfield, especially with Lo Celso out. So that's, I think, his midfield. There's not a lot of argument there. Maybe Skip because he played midweek. But you can start him, try to start off strong, and then if you need to bring him off later. Put a Winks on, put a whoever. At this point, it doesn't really matter because they're all pretty poor. In the front line, it's going to be Son, Kane, Mora. So with those three, they've been starting to kind of get a little bit of a gel working here and there, but it's been very sporadic. And Lucas at times has been coming back to his old ways where he's doing a lot of dribbling, giving up the ball too easy after dribbling through 3 or 4 guys and just missing half a dozen opportunities to pass it off and put the opposing side in a bad situation. It's what this team to me looks like is a bunch of individuals out there doing their thing, and that's why a lot of this doesn't work. It's not a true team. There's no real true team mentality with these players. There's very few that are actually selfless and go that extra mile, and not only with effort, but also with making that pass that opens someone else up or puts someone else in a better position. To me, we have too many individuals. And these players have played as a team before. They're just not doing it for whatever reason, whether they've kind of decided, you know what, I'm on my own. This team's not doing anything for me. We're not doing anything as a team. I'm going to highlight what I can do, and if I get to move somewhere, that maybe puts me in a better position. I don't know. But this is the least team-looking team I've seen in the top 10 in quite a while. And I think that's one of our biggest problems is we just don't play as a team very well. And that's huge. So I think that's going to be his starting 11, which leaves him a little bit of options on the bench, a few players here and there. My only one, if he does start Sanchez, that's my biggest gripe. But anyone else, I don't think there's anything you can argue about. I think this gives us an opportunity to get some sort of result. With the upcoming matches, we have an opportunity to get a result, and if not a draw or better, in probably 7 of the next 10 Premier League matches. So we could actually kind of pick up a lot of points here. With that all being said, I feel like this is going to be a draw because Burnley plays well at home, especially against us. We don't go in their house and we don't blow them out. So I feel like it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Hopeful for that 2-1 win, just like against Leeds. But I think a draw with the way we're playing, the personnel we have available, that might be where we end up at, is a 1-1 draw. But let me know what y'all think. If I said something that made you think a little bit or whatnot, hit that like button, the thumbs up, and come on, you Spurs.